Hi everyone, my name is Farah Zubaidi. Today I'm going to present for you as the SC Office Expansion Project proposal. So this is the introduction for who's SC. SC is the largest full-service education and entertainment game development company in the United States. Since 2002, SC has worked to create interactive experience on every platform to enrich the life of players of all ages. Projects in their award-winning portfolio range from mobile, desktop, and virtual reality game. Due to the need for additional workspace and as a response to the company growing, SC with the collaboration of Brookfield Properties has secured funds to expand SC's current office spaces and open new office space by renovating the next door space, which was previously occupied as a restaurant, and converted to an additional workspace. SC will retain an architectural firm to provide design services, construction administration, workspace service for the new office space. The design and bidding phase will consist of the typical steps: schematic design, development design, along with developing construction bid and construction document. The objective is the new office fit-out space to provide additional 20 workstations, 3 offices, 3 conference rooms, kitchenette, restroom, and a mock-up room with a new exterior vestibule. The project will take 10 months in total between design and approvals, with 20 weeks of construction and a budget of $1,500,000. Success criteria or expected benefit: the new space will provide the required additional workspace for SC to grow and offer their service to their client. Some key assumptions is the architect will develop the design using the Revit program BIM modeling. The project scope will not change when the stakeholders sign off on the scope statement. SC will secure financing for the construction project at an interest rate of 3%, the amount of $1,500,000. Some constraints associated with the project is finish the project with this tight schedule and the design mechanical equipment lead time. The milestone for the project will be specifically for the construction phase. Since this is an active project I have been working on, and we have already finished and finalized the design, SDDT, construction document, and permit approval, and we're moving forward with the construction phase right now. So the milestone for the project will be starting on December 3rd and supposed to finish moving turnkey on April 21st, 2022. Some milestones are mobilization, demo, framing, doors, interior finishes, paint, finishes installation, punch list, final cleaning, inspection final, and the move-in turnkey. Here's some quality control plan and some quality services and regulation the GC have to follow. Quality of service. The base bid must include the specified initial material. Contractor are responsible for constructing the work by the plans and specification. Contractor refer to graphic representation, notes, or schedule on the drawing. Contractor to provide inspection and test specified or required by government authorities, and service include those specified to be performed by an independent agency, not by the contractor. The contractor responsibility is to make a site visit to evaluate all work and preparation necessary to complete the project as designed, maintain a copy of the project site during submittals, planning, and progress of specific work. Until the date of substantial completion, contractor to inspect material immediately upon delivery and again before installation. Contractor to reject damaged and defective items. Some regulation is to follow the law, ordinance, status, and lawful order issued by authorities with jurisdiction, as well as rules, conventions, and agreement within the construction industry that control the perform of the work. For the owner record, contractor have to submit copies of permit, license certificate, inspection report, release, jurisdictional settlement notice, receipt for fee payment, judgment, and similar document, correspondence, and record established in conjunction with the compliance with the standard and regulation bearing upon the performance of the work. Any construction deficiencies related to design defect, material defects, or workmanship defects, if any of the material or the performed work or installation found to be deficient, or work does not meet the project specification and drawings, the architect will assure deficiency correction is implemented. The construction contractor will execute corrective action to remedy work that is not in accordance with the drawing and specification. Breakdown structure diagram. It's a visual, hierarchical, deliverable-oriented deconstruction of a project. It's very helpful because it allows the PM to break down the project scope into smaller components. You can visualize all the tasks required to complete the project. For instance, we can see here, for this project, we have 9 work packages that have been deconstructed into smaller components. For example, demolition have been deconstructed into 6 small component: demo existing wall, demo existing cooler, remove of floor finish, remove existing hood, demo existing restroom stall, and dispose of debris. WBS indenture. It's very similar to the WFBS diagram, but the difference is the other one is more of a hierarchical visual base, and this one is a schedule base. The main difference between them is usually in the diagram we don't show deliverable, however in the indenture we do show the deliverable. For examples, mobilization, one of their components is transportation of contractor personal equipment and operating supply to the site. Responsible person to perform this task is Ben, and the deliverable is deliver the necessary equipment for the job. Work breakdown structure indenture. In the work breakdown structure indenture, it's very similar to the work breakdown structure diagram. However, it's not hierarchical, it's more of a schedule base. We can see it's the same as work packages with their component, with the responsible person attached to it and deliverable. The main difference between them is in the diagram we don't show usually deliverable. For instance, here like transportation of contractors' personal equipment and operating supplies. The responsible person to perform this task is Ben, and the deliverable is deliver the necessary equipment for the job. Responsibility assignment matrix RAIM. RAIM usually describes the participation of various organization people and their role in the completing task or deliverable for the project. It's used by the PM and to clarify roles and responsibility. Usually, the PM assigns responsibility based on experience, knowledge, and availability of the resource. We can see here also there is a P letter and S letter. P is for the primary task and S for the support task. For example, here, for the demo existing walls, Gary is the primary resource to perform this task. However, Scott is assigned as a support resource to help Gary performing this task. Network diagram. Diagram is a graphical way to view tasks and their dependencies and the critical path as well of the project. It's usually used as boxes or nodes which represent the task along with a line that connects those boxes. The red represents the critical path, which is the longest path of the network diagram. The activities in the critical path have an effect on the deadline of the project. If an activity of this path is delayed, the project will be delayed. We can see here there are many tasks on the critical path which make the project in risk, because if any of those will be delayed for any reason, that will affect the finish date for the project. Gantt chart. Project schedule Gantt chart. Project schedule Gantt chart. Gantt chart is a type of a bar chart showing each task in the project along with their duration, their start and finish dates and resources, planning and dependency. On the left we can see the tasks, the same work packages with their deconstruction tasks, and the duration, the start, finish day, and the resource. However, on the left we can see them shown on a bar. For example, demo existing wall, 2 days, the duration from December 3rd to December 6th. And we can see on the right the blue bar showing Gary is the resource responsible to perform these tasks. Project schedule Gantt chart. Gantt chart is a type of a bar chart showing each task in the project along with their duration, their start and finish date and resources, planning and dependencies. On the left we can see the task and with their duration, start and finish date, and their resource. And on the right, we can see the same task as showing as a bar. For example, demolition. Demo existing wall. Duration should take 2 days, and it should be the start date for it will be December 3rd. The finish date will be December 6th. On the right side, we can see it showing on as blue bar. That's supposed to be performed by Gary. Gantt chart is incredibly useful because it allows us to simplify complex projects into an easy way to follow plan and track the status of the task and the work progress. Resource user sheet is the resource user report displays the resource with their allocated tasks. It's also showing the type of resource, whether it's work, material, or cost. The resource user sheet helps us to fix the over allocation for resource. For example, we can see here Ben, and his type is a work type with the standard rate and overtime rate associated with Ben. We can also see insulation as a material resource with the related cost $25,000 related to this type of resource. Overview, it's very helpful because it helps us with again with over allocation of the resource, and it also show how many hours each resource need to perform the work and where their start and finish date. We can see here Gary, who was responsible to perform the demo task, and the demo was supposed to be on December 3rd. Gary had 0 hours remaining work because he did finish his work of demolishing. Ben had did some mobilization work, but he still has some work to be performed in April, and he still has 64 hours. We can see also the work status for Ben and Gary. None of the other resources have been yet started. We can see the over allocation and the actual hour work performed against the remaining bar and the baseline work. Estimate cost sheet. The estimate cost sheet shows all the tasks that's supposed to be performed to complete the project, along with the resource name, the resource work hours, their labor rate, the labor cost, total labor cost, multiplying the variable rate by the hours to perform the task, any additional material costs related to this task, along with any additional travel cost that give us the total cost for the project, with a 10% contingency reserve for any unknown risk that may be occur during the project. For instance, we can see demolition is supposed to be performed by Gary. Gary needs 2 days, 16 hours to perform this task, and his labor rate is 150. Labor cost for Gary is 2,400, and there is a material cost related to this task is 100,000. Another example here is under door glazing and millwork, 4.1 install door. Scott is the resource to perform this task. He needs 3 days, 24 hours with a labor rate of 155, and the total labor cost for him will be 3,720. There is another cost associated, which is a material cost of the doors associated to this task is 6,000. The total cost for door glazing millwork between installing door, installing storefront, installing millwork, cabinet shelves, Scott, Jim, and Dennis with their different labor rate and their different duration time to perform and complete the task, the total will be $90,040. The total cost for the project is $1,500,000, including 10% contingency reserve of $1,050. Cash flow. Cash flow is a report to view the amount of cash inflow and outflows by the project for a specified date range. We can compare the cash flow to the related project budget amount. We can see here we have the contingency reserve at 1,050. And for example, we can see mobilization. Mobilization, the remaining cost is 0 because mobilization have been performed and complete. The actual cost for mobilization was 13,600. The cost is 13,600. The actual cost of work performed 13,600, and the budgeted cost of the work performed is 13,600. and the budgeted cost of work schedule is 13,600. Risk register is used to identify potential risks in a project to stay on the top of potential issues that can derail the outcomes. The purpose of the project management risk register is to identify, log in, and track potential project risk. Anything unexpected that could happen and may negatively affect the project. We can see here the project risk register includes all the risks, potential risks, their impact, and what their likelihood of happen, degree of impact, action on trigger, responsibility, and the response plan to associate with this risk. For example here, one of the potential risks is client change during construction change order. This may increase project cost and delay delay hitting the milestone. The likelihood is high and the effect is medium. When we can trigger this one was a change order is raised. Usually the project manager is the one who's responsible for this. One of the responses that may take in account is work with sub to evaluate any change to the cost and schedule and determine how the change order will affect the contracted work. Ensure that all labor, material, and equipment needs are covered in the change order. Another example of potential risk is underestimating the design budget, which may require additional funds. The trigger on this is happen when an actual cost does not align with the baseline budget. Usually the project manager is the one who is responsible for. The response for this one is to estimate accurately, agree on a clear scope with the owner, monitor progress and track budget, set contingency and management reserve. Conclusion. The new space will provide the required additional workspace for ST to grow and offer other services to other clients. It will provide additional workstations, 3 managers' room, 3 meeting conference room with a big mock-up room to perform their work. That will allow ST to expand their work and bring people back to work in the office. The project will take 10 months in total between design and approvals, with 20 weeks of construction and a budget of $1,500,000. Thank you very much everyone for your time to review my project proposal. I hope that you enjoy it. Thanks again.